Hey guys, I wanted to show you this how how I scrape data that I can use for when I'm building SaaS products. So for this example, I wanted to see how many FBOs there are in the United States. FBO stands for Fixed Based Operator, and so what I had to do was I found this site here from a forum just by typing in, how to find FBOs or something. And what I found here is that you can get to the site and you do a search and you have to type in a state, and then you can click on the state, and then you can see here the FBO names right down here. So you can even click FBO details and it even gets you even more information. So what I want to do is I wanted to get all that information because these people chances are going to be people that I'm going to be calling. So how do I do that quickly, and go through all these? So I use this program called ubot. So the first thing that I saw when you do these is that the states have a certain URL structure. I know I got 50 states, so I got a list of states and state abbreviations. I put those in there, and then they're all separated by a space. So I put space in there as the delimiter, and added my list to list here. Then I got to loop through that list, and that's going to bring up all the states here. So how do you do that? So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to each of these corresponding states. So what I'm going to do is right here, put next list item right here, because I want to get the next item in my list from this list right here. Okay. And this is a little difficult because I'm trying to do this on a smaller screen here. And then what I'm going to do is I need to loop through all these. I need to get all these links, and then I need to loop through them all and navigate to them and get the information of the FBO. So do that. So I'm going to add list to list. Starting list is city name. List to add is going to be from a scrape attribute. You go in here and you highlight that. And what I want to do is I want to get all the hrefs with airport info, and what I'll do is I'll put a wildcard there. You can see I get 130 matches. So that's that right there. So we'll do that. Element to scrape. It's the href. And we will be deleting duplicates on this. So let's see if we get that. ubot has a debugger here, so we can see city names here. So these are all the hrefs that I got. Looks good. 65. Okay, now we're going to have to navigate to those and get their information. So when you click on one, the URL structure is pretty simple. So now we're going to want to loop again. But this time we don't know how big that list could be of city names. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say list total. Then we're going to navigate. Then we're going to put in here next list item. And you guessed it, the list is going to be city name. Okay. So it's going to loop to that. It's going, then I want to get this information here, so then it's going to click. I want to click this thing. But sometimes there can be more than one FBO, so what we'll do is we'll add list to list. Starting list is going to be FBO link. List to add is scrape attribute. So here's our attribute here that we just scraped. It's the attribute of that button. So then what we'll do is we will loop again. List total. Total the FBO links. We will navigate to, let's see. Okay, so it's all root. Next list item, FBO link. Okay. So, and then once we're there, we want to get all this information. So this is going to be interesting. So we'll get we can like scrape table. So I'm just looking here what the table ID is. I think it's yeah. Table ID is airport info. Okay. FBO info. Contact info. Let's see what we get here. Cool. So there's all that. All that info. And then we need to get the services. Okay, now in order to get all these services here, I just made this scrape attribute. I got the bullet for all these different ones because it separated them out that way, and then you get this list here for FBO services. So, okay. Now what we need to do is I want to add this list to down here. It's going to be services, row 10, and then yeah, and that's just going to be comma separated. So in order to do that, we need to first remove the spaces. Just do a place. See if this works. Original text. Search text for new line. New line. Place text with nothing. There you go, that worked. You can see here, now those are all taken care of. Might have an extra one down at the end. But that's better than nothing. So now what we'll do is we will join Okay, let's try this. Let's try replace. Let's do the original text here. Search for new line, replace with comma. See what that does. All right. I think that works. I should have done started over here. So that's what we get there. We'll remove the white spaces. And then what we do here, put a space there. Then we take it and we make it all into a big old string. It's comma separated. Now what we do is we're going to set table cell. Row is going to be 10. Column is going to be 0. Do services. See that pop up there, and then what we'll do services, and there we go. So there's all of our information, all of our services for our. You know what? It'd probably be good if we had the name. Shelby County Airport, so let's get that. One kind of nice thing about ubot is you can combine everything. So we can go like this. Wait a second, first we have to insert. Row 0. All right. And we're going to set table cell. Row 0, 0, to be name, and then take this, column 1, and we'll make this into scrape attribute. Name here. I'll just scrape inner text. So here we go. So here comes the name, and then here comes the name of the airport. All right, that's good. So now what we need to do is insert this into the master table. So let's see. row is going to be what we have to do is we have to find the next available, like the last row. I'll do +1. We gotta start filling it in with the table cell. Row 0, column 1. So there's that, and the name will go up at the top. I'll go ahead and finish that out for the whole table. Okay, I just wanted to show you this the final bot here, what I did. So first of all, I screwed up a little bit and I let it run and it wasn't working right, and that's because I forgot to, I'll show you that here when I get through this. But so first of all, it clears all the lists and all the tables. Then it navigates to this website here. And then what it does is it adds this list of states delimited by space into a list. I'll show you that. Here's my list of state abbreviations. And then it goes and it loops, since there's 50 of those, it'll loop 50 times. And then it navigates to this page here, which it's putting in with the trim here, it's putting in the next list item of that states. So it just goes through, puts in the first state abbreviation into the URL. And then it goes in and gets all these city names and it puts them in a list by scraping the attribute. Here's all that. And then what we do is then we navigate to that. We use the trim to remove any spaces. And then the next list item of that list that we just made. And we do that the total of times, the total of items that are in that list. So many times we loop through it. So then there's 65 items, we loop through it 65 times. So we go down there. Wrong button. There you go. So then it goes to the city. And then what it does is then it gets all these FBO detail links down here, since there could be multiple FBO names. It gets those, adds those to a list here. And then it loops through those, total of those. Then we'll go to that. Then what we do is then we get all this information here with the scrape table. And then we get all these services here with the set services. And then we remove the blank spaces here. And then we combine them into one line by replacing all the new line characters with commas. And then we set our master table here. Or I'm sorry, our FBA contact number, so we add services to our FBO contact info table. So there's that, writing the label here, and then adding that in there. And then we have to get the name of the FBO, so then we're going to insert a table. We're going to do that at the beginning, so we're going to insert a cell, row 0, column 0, since tables work on 0 index. And then we get the name here, which is right here. We get that with the scrape attribute right here. And then we figure out which row we're working on. So we get the total rows of the master, because we always want to add a new row at the end. So we got to get the total number of rows. And then we set the table. And then we add all this information from the contact FBO contact info table. We add it to the master table because we're going to clear out the FBO contact table for each FBO that we get the information from. So here's us setting these different deals here. This is just different information from this table. You got to set each cell individually. And then after that's set, then we clear the FBO contact detail. And then we come back all the way back up here. And if there's another item in this list, another FBO link from this page here, then it'd go through the whole same thing again. Count to that, and then get all those. And then it'd add those to the FBO table. And then once that's done, then you have to then it pops down here, and you have to clear the FBO link list because you don't want to keep visiting these links. And that's something that I messed up before. I didn't do that. I didn't clear that list, and that was a huge mistake. So then once that's done, then it goes all the way back up. And then it loops through the next city. And then it goes back, it gets the next city, navigates to that, gets the FBO links, and then it loops through that same loop that we just talked about with all the FBO links. And it just keeps doing that, until it exhausts all the city names in this list. And then what it does, then it pops down here, it clears the city name list, and then it saves the master table to a file. So we're saving it every time we run through state. And then it pops back up here to the loop and navigates to the next one. And then it goes down, gets the cities, goes to each city, gets all the FBO links, gets all the information from all the FBOs, and then it just keeps looping and looping and looping through everything. And then when you get done, you have a spreadsheet like this. You have a spreadsheet like this where we have the name of the airport, the address, the phone number, the toll-free or the local phone number, what their hours are, their URL, the email address, their phone number, what kind of fuel they use, and then any services that they have here. And that's that. So out of all those, I got, I think, close to, yeah, 3174. So yeah, so I get, 5% of that market. That's about, let's see, it's about 159 customers. So that should be doing pretty good for my price point. So yeah, so that's how I found out my customer list for the FBOs for my product Aviation Helper.